Hi guys, we're back. We're back after a long break. But yeah, Alté Ldn Podcast back again. Back again.
Hey.
And we're better and we're stronger. We just needed a little break.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't need a break. It's because I was actually moving house. But, you know, Charlene was kind enough to be like, yeah, it's cool.
It's all good.
So
Listen,
we're back.
we've got new things we're doing in life. It's a positive moment, but with that, you know, change comes, and I feel like that's what's going to happen now. So we're going to sort of move into like somewhat a new series, if you like, kind of focusing more on just like culture and like sort of mental well-being and just different things like that. So just, you know, come on this journey with us, and hopefully, you know, you can enjoy the episodes that are coming up.
Definitely. I mean, like, we obviously, like, the last series was like very banter based and like we weren't talking about anything that was like that deep. But you know, we want to show that there are layers to us, guys. It's like Shrek. It's like, is it Shrek? Is it the onions? Like, there's different layers. So there's layers to us. But yeah, so today actually we're going to we'll introduce ourselves. So yeah, I'm Afia, obviously, and we also have
Charlene.
Yours is always like a song one. Maybe I'll do a song one.
It's
next
weird though, because I feel like you speak in song. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, no, I do. It's so
like,
annoying.
no, it's not annoying at all. But like, you're just banter. Like, it's like, oh, what's your name? What's your name? Or,
yeah, I always do.
Or like,
it's so annoying.
I need to go to the printer.
Yeah, I always do. Literally always. That's just makes my day. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about cancel culture today, and I feel like that's a topic. Yeah, so it's a meaty topic, and I feel like we're gonna delve into so many different things. But like, it's been a big one recently as well, because like everyone's at home, everyone's like, oh, what's everyone done in the past? Like, especially with like platforms like Twitter, people are like known for like searching people's old tweets to see like how problematic
it's been happening
they are. Like,
so much as well.
So much. I think that's like a thing that like is a newer thing. Like, whenever you like someone, I find myself doing it, but like whenever I like someone new, I'm like, oh, like, are they actually good to like, have they done anything like weird in the past? Have they seen anything weird? And it's so annoying because you shouldn't have to think like that, but I mean, like, that is like what cancel culture is sort of created.
I mean, yeah,
and it's a good and a bad thing, but yeah.
No, for real. It's I wouldn't say I do the same, but I mean, you're gonna see sort of like Afia and I somewhat not opposing views, but contrasting views moving forward.
Yeah.
So what is cancel culture? Like, how do you talk to us about what that is?
Yeah, so cancel culture, just to define, like, if anyone doesn't actually know what it is, the dictionary definition is basically the act of cancelling, also referred to as cancel culture. So the removal of the support for public figures in response to their objectionable behaviour or opinions. So this can include boycotts or refusal to promote their work. Right. So it could be things like if they're like being homophobic in the past, or if they've been racist, or like misogyny, fat shaming, like all those types of like controversial things that people are it's not that forthcoming now. Like, obviously times change, and like things that were acceptable like maybe 10-15 years ago are obviously not acceptable now, which is great because we're moving forward and like we're having more discussions about things more openly, and we're being people who are different to us, we're being more accepted, and we're having bigger conversations about things.
I feel like we're having conversations in certain areas though. I feel like still more conversations need to be had within certain topics.
Definitely.
Like, obviously racial injustice is a big one right now. However, I think from our own personal experiences, the conversations that need to happen are not even really happening though. And then also I feel like in terms of like the sort of LGBTQIA plus community, I feel like conversations are happening, but then it's like some parts of it that some people are still not really vibing with. So I feel like there's more conversations happening, but at the same time, is it the right conversations?
More to be done.
Is it the right conversations that are happening, or is it just like people just sort of just doing it to do it and then just like moving on with their lives? Do you know what I mean?
It's exactly that, and I feel like a big example of that now is obviously the Black Lives Matter movement, which is obviously unfortunately seemed to have like slowed down in pace
massively.
People are still like push it massively, and we knew it would happen, but I just didn't think it would be this quick and this drastic, because I thought people would still be posting like little bits here and there, and I'm sure you guys have seen like on our Instagram that we're still posting like bits like here and there, but like, you know, trying to keep it positive at the same time. But still posting like what updates are happening. But yeah, everyone is like radio silence right now.
Mad.
Like, the people who are like, yes, Black Lives Matter, like, oh, I've been reading this, I've been doing this, like, where are you?
But where's
now?
the action though?
It's quiet.
Where's the action?
Where's the action? Exactly.
It's like, okay, we've seen some organisations, like some of our biggest companies that we support and that we buy from, like they put out a statement, but like, where's the action? Do you understand? Like, I'm not seeing it. Like,
exactly
and to be honest with you, like, you know, if you want to focus on like more fashion in like businesses and stuff like that, they always have the token black beautiful girl or black beautiful man that they used to use anyway. So like, and so are they really actually changing the culture? Are they actually really, you know, putting people of color or black people specifically in positions where we're educated enough to do it? We have the ideas. So what's the issue? It's literally the color of our skin, because you don't want your boardroom to look, you know.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like all well and good, like, oh yes, I've used a black model, but like, are we behind the scenes? Are we the ones who are like booking the campaign?
Exactly.
Are we the ones who are booking the model? Like, where is that? Like, we need that in all aspects
100%.
of everywhere that we're working, and that's like the whole point of things. So yeah, it's been very performative, which is very disappointing, and like very performative. And I think we've experienced that in our personal lives.
100%.
You know, we won't get into that. But yeah, we've experienced that. But yeah, going back to cancel culture, like, I want to first talk about like annoying cancellations. So like, we'll go into like the other ones first, but like ones that have like annoyed us particularly, and by annoying I mean like people who are like, they've got it going for them, like they have talent,
actual talent.
They're just great at what they do, but then they just keep fucking it up by like just saying and doing stupid things. And I think you guys probably know who we're talking about with this one, and like, I'll just say like,
she's an alt queen as well, which is really painful.
I know
she's an alt queen. Like, she is really the quintessential alternative girl that I feel like you and I can relate with. I'm not talking about what she says, but I'm talking about in how she produces her art, how she preaches it. Like, the shit she was doing when she came out was so fucking sick.
The thing is, what was so sick about her is that she was an American artist doing like UK house music. Because like all her beats, I was like, wait a minute, like, oh, she's bringing back the old school like 90s, early 2000s. Like, this is sick. And honestly, like, I'm not even just saying this, she is like probably one of the best female rappers, or just rappers in general, to have come out in the past like 15-20 years. Like, she's and
that's why she popped off, and she popped off in the UK, and that's sort of what catapulted her pop off around the world. But yeah, unfortunately, Azealia Banks, our dear friend, she just says and does a lot of problematic things, like a lot. Just
Azealia, close your mouth, please. Like,
it's really
please, every minute. And one thing that's actually mad about her, though, like, some of the things that she says can be out of pocket, but they come back true, because I've been seeing this theme on like Twitter, where I can't remember who she said something about. No, she was talking about Lana Del Rey, and she was like, she's this, she's that, and everyone's like, no, leave her, like, she's never done anything wrong. And then like, obviously recently, Lana Del Rey was trying to, what did she say? She was like, she put out a statement saying that she doesn't do lyrics like Beyonce, Doja Cat, and like Megan Thee Stallion. And everyone's like, why are you only picking on black female artists? And like Azealia Banks, like, I told you lot about her. So stuff like that is like, okay, fair enough. But I mean, like, when it comes to stuff like what she was saying about, was it Zayn Malik, when she was like, she was just being really racist?
I mean, she says things like
Asian people or something.
She did something about Cardi B as well. She said that she accused Cardi B of being black when she wants to be, kind of thing. And it's just, I mean
well, I mean, this is what I'm saying, like, sometimes she has facts, but like a lot of the time it's just like, please, like, just rein it back. The Zayn Malik thing, I didn't agree with. That was just, no, I didn't understand where that was even coming from. What else has she said?
She's literally had beefs with the same people. So she had beefs. I'm actually looking at this article now. So she's had beefs with Nicki Minaj.
Obviously, who hasn't?
And then she hashtagged men these bitches delirious, and she just said a string of things like, use proper grammar when you're chatting to me, things like that. She's had beef with Rita Ora. She's had beef with ASAP. ASAP. ASAP is a hard one for us as well, because I love ASAP. I won't even lie to you.
I was so disappointed when I heard what you were saying there.
Really,
like, obviously now. We've spoken about that in our past podcast. I think we spoke about that in Hot Boy Summer as well.
We did.
The shit he's been saying. So ASAP. I'm not even gonna comment on ASAP. Yeah, but yeah, anyway.
She's had beefs with T.I. and Tiny.
Every single person. And this is what's annoying, is like, Azealia, you're so talented, you don't have to
she
comment
said that Tiny had a meth face. Like, you can't say that.
Azealia.
And I think actually that's something I want to point out, right? It's like, at the end of the day, sometimes you have opinions, and this is something that I've been talking about recently. I think actually Afia and I actually kind of had a conversation about this as well recently, but like you just don't need to say certain things. But aside from not even need to say certain things, it's like, you need to question why those thoughts have come into your mind. Like, what is it? Because actually the issue is not even just saying it, because I almost feel like if you are thinking these bad things, then you probably should say it, because then it shows me who you are, right? Because why are these things even coming into your mind? Now you need to like dial right back and think to yourself, okay, what is evoking this kind of emotion, or what is causing me to come to this conclusion? Because you shouldn't be having these thoughts. Why do you feel like why do you feel like looking at Tiny, you think she has a meth face? It's not making sense.
And then you've got to say it,
right? So
like, what? I
mean, Azalea Banks, I mean, with her, like, yeah, she definitely has been cancelled so many times, and as Sophia said already, like, you know, some things that she has said have sort of come to fruition recently, but it's just like, yeah, people don't have time for her, man. Then there was a whole scandal where like Russell Crowe spat in her face or something like that.
Oh shit, no, that was really bad. That was so bad. And I think people were kind of like coming back to her side and be like, no, that's just fucked up. Because didn't he was saying all sorts of shit and like spat in her face. Yeah, that's disgusting. And especially as like a black woman, she was probably the only black person. Wasn't it at Elon Musk's house or something? Was it at his house?
I don't even know who it was.
She's been in Elon Musk's house as well. There was that whole thing as well when she was like in his house and refusing to get out. There's all these weird fucking situations. But yeah, the Russell Crowe one was like, yeah, that was really bad. And like I can imagine like being the only black woman in a situation and no one's backing you, like that's horrible. So yeah, fuck that. Yeah, Azalea Banks, she's definitely an annoying cancellation. She fucks with her own bag. Like she could be out here like on the same level as. I
found what she said. Whoever. I found what she said to Zayn. So basically, the whole thing with Zayn was that it was basically she insinuated that Zayn had stolen some of her work, and so he said, "My acts are too good for you. No lies. I see you reaching, but I don't care." And she didn't like that, so she responded saying, USA is about to teach you who not to fuck with. And then she said, when your entire extended family has been obliterated by the good old the USA, will you still be trying to act like a white boy pretending to be black? Do you understand that you are a sand nigger who emulates white boys? Emulates white boys renditions of black malehood? Do you know how lost and cultureless you are? Yeah. Azalea, come on.
We don't need to do
come
it.
On,
really.
Man, come on.
But people have. Is this true though that she's bipolar? Because then that's a whole other thing. Because I've heard that she is. Yeah. So like, obviously that plays a massive part. And that's obviously a complex issue as it is, because some people are like, oh, it shouldn't excuse like you saying stuff because you're bipolar, but then it's like, that's a part of being bipolar,
right,
isn't
exactly,
it? Like obviously, like you can't. Yeah. So yes, it's a tricky one, and I wish her the best, man, and I hope that like she can get some good management to be like, look, mate, we're taking away your social media, just bang out the hits, that's fine, and we're good to go.
I feel like though we can't really talk about bipolar without really speaking about Mr. West. Unfortunately,
Kanye
because
West.
I mean that is a big one as well.
Has been up to a lot.
Cancel culture, like people are trying to cancel bare people, like cancel him, but then cancel. I mean, people are always trying to cancel the Kardashians, so it's like, and they're still making that money. So at the end of the day, it's not working. But yeah. Kanye, people trying to cancel him. Obviously, if you don't know what's happening right now, he's been putting out a string of tweets, as well as the fact that he's, put himself in the race for president of America. And he said some quite crazy things though, which, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, had me thinking, well, like, he referred to his mother-in-law Kris Jenner as Kris Jong-un, which is, if you know about Kim Jong-un in Korea, that's a bit of a mad one still, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's called them white supremacists. Yeah,
it's a bit of a mad one. Said that he's been trying to divorce Kim for some time. Yeah. Said that Kim's trying to come with a doctor to 5150 him, which is like when they put you into like psychiatric holds for, I think it's 48 hours. And it's all a bit mad.
And now Kim's released her statement. Kim's statement was actually very well written.
I thought so.
It was very well written.
I thought so.
So it was quite sensitive. Just basically, like, if you guys haven't read it, it was just basically saying that, like, we should have some compassion for people who are going through these things, and that like mental health isn't spoken about enough, and that if we would just like offer him like our support in a way, that's basically what she was saying. It's quite. I think it's quite sad, really.
It's really sad. It's really sad. But then it's like, then I think to myself, okay. And this is another thing as well. So people are cancelling people without really knowing the facts. And it's like, all right, you're saying that, Kanye's moving mad, but these times we're still supporting him, with all of his endeavors, such as, Yeezy and like Yeezy Adidas or whatever, which is cool. And I personally don't feel like, someone in that situation doesn't deserve the same treatment as someone who is like openly being like, fuck black people, fuck gay people, whatever, right? I feel like he, like, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like we need to learn to distinguish between the two, which is why, you know, I feel like what her statement was that's why her statement was so good, because I feel like he should be treated in the same way that, you know, someone who's clearly homophobic or someone who's clearly transphobic or someone who's clearly racist should be treated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they get a lot of forgiveness in the entertainment industry, especially like white people who've been racist in the past, or like any type of problematic shit in the past. They're able to move on and like forget about that. And another thing as well is about gender. So like Kanye West like has been forgiven time and time again, but then going back to Azealia Banks, she hasn't been afforded that same grace. So like women in the industry, like anytime a woman fucks up, that's it for you. Like there's no coming back, especially if you're a black woman. Like, but yeah, it's a wrap.
And the mad thing about it, it's not even just the industry. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel like us, you and me, who are regular Joe Schmoes, like Jane Baines, like I feel like when we do things, you know, we're not perfect, that we're given a harder time as well. So it's like I feel like it's in everyday life, not even just in the industry, right?
Work situation, everything.
It's ridiculous.
Everything.
It's ridiculous. And black women, man, we need to be treated way better. It's crazy.
100%. And speaking of the way black women are treated, Megan Thee Stallion. So what's quite interesting about this is the fact that, like we were just saying in the beginning of the podcast, like everyone was doing like Black Lives Matter, and a big thing in that Black Lives Matter thing is that black women matter, especially, and black women need to be protected, because oftentimes black women are at the forefront of these campaigns or at the forefront of these protests, and we're not protected enough. We had like the murder of Toyin, who was like campaigning. She was campaigning, and like she was kidnapped by a black guy, which is unfortunate as well. It's like one of our own, like you doing this when this in the height of all this happening. She was like kidnapped by him, raped and murdered basically. So that's just a big example of that. Going back to Megan Thee Stallion, obviously we don't know the facts. This is the thing, we don't know the facts. But like what everyone's saying at the moment is that like she was in an altercation with Tory Lanez. They were coming back from like Kylie Jenner's party or going to Kylie Jenner's party, something like that. And then they were in an argument or whatever, and then she ended up getting shot in the foot by him. And then like if you've seen the video footage as well, there's like video footage of like Tory like on the ground, like police like surrounding them, Meg like limping out the car with like blood just coming all out of her foot. Like it's fucked up.
It's awful, man.
So it's fucked. And then so that's happened, and like my first reaction was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like so concerned from like, is she okay? She's in hospital, But then people seem to be making jokes out of it. And it's like, there's nothing funny about this situation. Like she could have like had her life taken from her. Thank God she didn't. But people are making jokes when we're supposed to be here supporting black people and supporting black women. So what, I don't understand what's going on. Like it's really just
crazy. And I feel like as well, like for me personally, you know, Meg's not really shown anything other than being a great person. Like I feel like there's just not anything to add.
Just good vibes.
Not to add as well, she's been through such adversity, and not to say that should make you treat her any better, because I don't agree with that. You know, I feel like everyone should be treated good just because you should be, as we're human beings. But we all know that she's been through a lot of adversity, with losing her father when she was young and losing her mother like last year. So it's just like, you know, I feel like people are really taking the piss, and she's always so positive. I feel like, you know, empowering and stuff like that. So it's really taking the piss.
Definitely.
I think that, you know, I think that I guess they're not really realising the severity of the situation. But referring to like cancel culture though, like obviously everyone's saying that Tory Lanez is cancelled. I feel like people are still in limbo with that, because obviously we don't really know the real story. Apparently that's going to come out soon. But you know, what do you think about that? Do you think Tory Lanez should be cancelled? You know, what do you think?
I mean, like, I think like what we were saying, in the height of what's happening like in our community, for black men to be treating black women this way, like it's just like, I mean generally anyway, but I mean especially now, like it's just, it doesn't sit right with me. And like like we were saying, everything that Megan's gone through, and like I don't know, as like a community, like we just need to be protecting each other, and for him to do that to a black woman when we're so unprotected as it is, like I don't like it. So whatever the fact, I mean I have to hear the facts in it, so I don't actually know what's actually gone on. So like until I hear that, then like, you know, we'll see what happens. I didn't fuck with Tory Lanez anyway, so it's not really like a big thing. I mean I was watching Quarantine Radio, which is that's a whole thing.
But that's the thing that everyone's saying though, that's what everyone's saying. Everyone's like, do you know what, like in this lockdown he's really thrived. Like he's had the biggest numbers on Instagram. He had all his friends running through, all his friends were running through the Quarantine Radio. He was really entertaining. Not to add that he really really did, to me, he came across as like a good guy. Like, you know, he seemed like he was a good guy, and like he seemed like he was really real. I find a lot of people from Canada come across that way though, to be honest. And then like,
yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And I just feel like it's a real shame, you know. Obviously, again, we don't know.
Big shame.
We don't know what's happened. And yeah, his music is fucking fire as well. So it's like, yeah, we don't know what happened, and I guess we'll have to wait till that happens. But my point to this is that do you think that if it comes out that he, you know, did do this, do you think he should be cancelled?
I mean, I guess so, in like terms of what the conditions of cancelling someone. But I mean, like I said, I didn't fuck with him anyway, so it doesn't affect my life. But I mean, it is like, he would have to do a lot of I mean, how can he explain that? Yeah. Oh yeah, I got pissed off and I shot her in the foot. There's no explanation. So like, really, but then like we were saying, men are able to get away with this shit, so he'll be fine. His career will be fine. He'll be able to come back and do like whatever. So,
but yeah, I feel like though, talking about like celebrity dalliances and things like that, I mean, we can't not talk about the entanglement. The entanglement. I feel like this week has just been like revelation after revelation. Crazy. Like, what's going on? It's absolutely crazy. Because I mean, like, you know, people saying they didn't know that Meghan and Tory were doing a thing. Do you know what I mean? So but apparently that's an industry known thing. You know how it goes.
I saw it because they were at each other's house during the quarantine. I was like, why are you lot?
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. Apparently during quarantine radio, she was just popping up all the time. So. But yeah, so we have the entanglement. If we don't know what we're referring to, which I mean, if you haven't heard about this, I would be shocked. But yeah, so obviously it's come out that Jada Pinkett Smith had a relationship or an entanglement with August Alsina, who's an R&B singer, and a good one at that, actually. And yeah, apparently so it's hard because a lot of people thought it was an affair, but you know, so Jada took herself to the red table and had Will there as well, and she cleared up that it wasn't an affair, and actually her and Will had broken up, and that they had like, in her words, an entanglement. And obviously that word's been going around the internet because everyone's like, what the hell, like, why did she use that terminology?
Yeah, what's entanglement?
But apparently the definition of entanglement is like a sort of like a difficult or situation, and apparently, you know, August Alsina agrees that that's probably the right term to use. It's just a bit of an abstract word. So yeah, I mean, the issue with this is a number of things. So a lot of people are trying to cancel Jada, but also trying to cancel August. They're trying to cancel August because they think that, you know, he fucked up a marriage, when she's come and told you that he hasn't, and people are still trying to cancel him, which I think is out of order. And then people trying to cancel Jada. I
mean, aren't they known for having an open relationship anyway?
Well, this is the thing. So it's like, the thing is, I don't know. There's lots of things going around. People think that Will's gay. Like, people think that. People think that it's a lot of things going around. And yeah, but open marriage has been like a big thing. Like, everyone thought, and at times people thought they were swingers as well. That was something that was going around. So that. Yeah, but then people are also trying to cancel Jada because they feel like she took advantage of him. Because when, you know, if you watch the Red Table Talk, she was talking about how, you know, he came about when he was like really ill, and also when he was going through a lot of like mental shit with like his family and whatnot, and so, you know, she really wanted to like, look after him, and so I guess the way she was speaking, a lot of people think was like predatory. What do you think about that?
I mean, like, I can see like what they're saying, especially because like a thing about that as well is like, when we look at it from the other way, and I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, you know, if it was a woman, I hate shit like that. But yeah, it's true. When it's a guy and they're you know, trying to take the piss out, well, not trying to take the piss, but just being predatory towards like 18-year-old girls, and they're like in their late 30s, and like it's a thing. So I mean, women should be treated the same way, I feel like, who's younger. But I mean, like, I don't know. Well, I see what people are saying. Like, if you're in a vulnerable position and then like someone's like, oh yeah, let's just do a thing, like, it's just, it personally, me, like, morally, I just wouldn't do that. But I mean, you know, this industry, like, I don't know what these people do. They do shit very differently to normal people. But yeah, like, I understand what people are saying, basically. So
but I think so, to point out as well, he was, I believe, 22, 23 at the time, and then because he's only 27 now, so then she obviously I think she was like about 20 years older, so about 43, 44 kind of time.
Fucking hell.
So
yeah, that's really weird, I'm sorry.
But I mean, the thing is this though, is it's like, at the end of the day, I feel like in Hollywood all the time, you know, we see a lot of couples who have got quite a big age gap. I'll give you a great example of that. My babes of babes of life, Mr. Eunice Benjamin. He dated Courtney, and she's about 15 years his senior. So it's like,
I mean, but it still doesn't make it correct.
I'm not saying it's not not okay, but no one had a problem with that.
Yeah, it happened.
So why do people have a problem with that now? Because is it because they're black? True. It's the truth. Like,
maybe, this is the thing.
Because no one had a problem with that. Everyone 100%. Was just like, it was just like calm. In fact, I feel like a lot of people are hurt when they break up. Like, so
yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think it's like looks as well, like, because if they're like buff together as well, people are like, because it's very
couple.
Like visual, beautiful couple. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's a messy one. But
I feel like, you know, these are things where it's just like, I don't really feel like it's our place to cancel any of them. That is actually my point. In this particular situation, because she's come out and told her truth. And to be honest with you, for the most part of it, like, August Alsina has actually agreed with pretty much everything she said. Because he's now come out after that. The only thing is, he did say that he definitely did have a conversation with Will, and obviously that's something that, you know, they deny, but it's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, like, he pretty much agrees in terms of the relationship details, that he kind of agrees with that. So I don't really feel like anyone should be cancelled in that situation, but culture wants to say, okay, fuck them both. Like, it's not making sense. It's not making sense at all.
It's mad. Speaking of celebrities, that goes on to like money, and I think like during this quarantine, this isolation especially, people have started to like realize a lot of stuff, and like the way the world's run, and like how like but how hard done by like people who are, you know, poor or whatever, or just like usually working class are done by billionaires. And I feel like billionaires at a stage were definitely like idolized. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, they got all this money, like, oh, that's so good, like hard work, and like that's the idea that's like put in your head, like when you're young, is like for you to ever have like that much money, you have to work hard, when really that's not the case. So I'm talking about billionaires have definitely been cancelled like recently, and like from that, I say people are starting to realize that no, actually these people are not getting their money just through hard work, they're getting their money through exploitation through working class. So we can talk about Jeff Bezos, for example. Bezos, I don't fucking know. For example, he's obviously the founder of Amazon. And a lot of the workers have come out saying things like, we're not even allowed toilet breaks, we get paid really badly, like just like the work conditions are really shit. Where meanwhile, Jeff Bezos has got over 100 billion to his name, and it's like, well, where's this money going? Like, it's not going to your employers. It's not going to really make Amazon better. Like, who's actually like benefiting from this? And like, there's people who are.
So this is the thing though. So with Jeff Bezos, for example, his revenue went up by, I think it was 75% in the first quarter because obviously of quarantine. Because everyone was ordering just basic shit that you need to go to shops for from Amazon, because that was the only thing that was really available. So part of his wealth isn't really his fault, I'm going to be honest, because
I mean, what I would say is that isn't true, because Amazon have basically bought out everything. So regardless if you're shopping at Amazon or not, you're still indirectly giving him money, because let's say you go to a shop and that person's then bought off of Amazon, they're still getting that money. So regardless of you giving your money to Amazon or not, it's really hard for us to not buy through Amazon, because they've made it so the market only caters to Amazon. So I would say yes, it is his fault.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. But then also the other thing is that they've actually, you know, they sought another further 100,000 jobs as well. So they provided like a lot of, and I understand what you're saying is that the jobs they're providing are not of quality, because, you know, they're not to sort of working standards or things like that. But they have, you know, just employed another 100,000 people in this time, which is a lot. Like, that's a big workforce.
Yeah, but these people are still underpaid, so I mean that doesn't make any
I just said I know it's not of the quality, so I get that. I mean, I think it's hard though. I feel like I think Jeff Bezos is definitely being, well, people trying to cancel him. And
it's just hoarding wealth. That's what it is. It's hoarding wealth.
Yeah, it is.
A small percentage of their money could literally end all the injustices in this world. It could end world hunger. It could end like poverty, and these people are just sitting on money. You're not ever gonna be able to spend $100 billion in your life. That's the point. And these people are just sitting on that money. So like billionaires,
when you could actually pay people just a bit more money.
Exactly.
Or hire more people to undertake the work, so people are not stressed or whatever.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah, I hear that.
So billionaires, you're done.
But then at the same time, you've got like a Jack Dorsey, for example, of Twitter, who like he, you know, has been doing some like
fuck Jack Dorsey.
What? Who cancelled Jack Dorsey?
Yes, because like so many people on that. I use Twitter a lot. Okay, so like so many people on that platform, especially like black activists, are always getting like their accounts suspended or whatever whenever they're calling out like white supremacists.
Right.
And the white supremacist accounts never get fucking deleted. Donald Trump's account has not been deleted, and Donald Trump has said the most disgusting, regardless of him being the president, he said the most disgusting things that like I've heard anyone who is, especially is the president, should ever be saying, and his account nothing gets done with his account. So Jack,
agree.
what are you doing? You're muting the voices of black activists who are actually speaking out about stuff, but you're not doing anything about Donald Trump. Doesn't make any sense.
Do you know, I 100% agree, honestly. But there's a couple of things I want to point out. One, I feel like it's really hard when people are doing charitable things. So for example, he's done a lot of charitable things in Barbados, which is your native country, and then you get back to the question, okay, cool, so if he does one good deed and obviously one really bad deed, where do you sit? Because I mean,
I think charity for celebrities is, this is when like my debating side's really gonna come.
No, but what I'm just wait before you even say that though, before you say that, like let's put it in perspective, right? So he partnered up with Rihanna with the Carolina Foundation. They gave I think like 5,000 tablets and iPads or whatever to school kids in Barbados so they can continue learning during this coronavirus period, as well as him and the Carolina Foundation have worked together a number of times, in the past already, in different charitable things. So it's like, okay, cool. Whilst I do appreciate that, of course, he is muting black activists as well as other things, I'm sure, he's also doing some charitable shit. And okay, and now you say what you're going to say. So I already know what you're going to say.
So charity for celebrities is simply a tax write-off. So a celebrity doing charity does not mean fucking shit to me, unless I feel like you've really been about it. And I feel like Rihanna, even though she has a lot of money, I think she has always been about giving back to Barbados especially. So I do actually really respect that. She's been doing that from the beginning, and not just like all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I've got this money, let me just give like a little bit so I can get a tax write-off. She's always been about that. So like I respect that, and I think like what she's doing is genuine. But people like Jack and like the others, Jeff from Amazon, it's not genuine.
So you feel like that's performative?
That's how I feel about it. Absolutely.
But I mean, at the end of the day, though, the kids still got the iPads, though.
I mean,
so it's like at the end of the day, whilst it's performative,
exactly, they're benefiting.
Yeah, whilst it's performative, people are benefiting though. Yeah. So it's like okay, where do you sit with that? Because
for sure,
it's for me, it's a difficult one, because I feel like at the end of the day, yes, it might be performative, yes, it might be a tax write-off, but these kids, the president, and I believe she's female, of Barbados, she put out a video.
Oh, Motley. Mia Motley.
She's amazing.
That's my girl.
She's amazing. She speaks so well, and she just comes across so beautifully. And like she, said thank you, because now we've been able to, help 5,000 kids continue to learn. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, and that's great. That is great, because like obviously my family is from Barbados, and going to Barbados, you see like the difference in like where like the people stay if you're going on holiday, like compared to like where some of the, I mean, it's not like all like hard done by, but I mean like a lot of people don't really have money, especially because it's the same way as America. So if you don't have healthcare insurance, then like you're fucked. So the same sort of situation. So yeah, it's great like these kids are benefiting from that. That's great. But I mean like morally, for me, like if I wasn't doing something from like the genuineness from my heart, then like I just don't see the point of doing it. And that's just me personally, but like it's great that the kids have benefited 100%. So I agree there. And maybe that's when you go. What I was actually saying of that though, like speaking of that rather, when should like redemption be allowed, not allowed? Because I feel like one thing with cancel culture is that like people aren't being given the opportunity to like redeem themselves.
But I feel like it's certain people though, it's not everyone. Like some certain people, it's like, okay, they said sorry, it's calm. Yeah. Okay, you got people like the Johnny Depps, for example, who was cancelled, is uncancelled now.
That is a great example.
Right, he's been uncancelled. Like, to be honest with you, it didn't really hurt. Like, considering all the allegations, and there's actually evidence. Like, I've been following the case, because there's a case at the moment.
Same from the beginning. Because there's evidence. What is it, 2016?
There's evidence though. Yeah, like, there's actual evidence, and so it's like.
If you guys don't know, so basically 2015-2016, Amber Heard, who was his wife at the time, came out and said that she'd been like assaulted by Johnny Depp, and like she had this like bruise under her eye, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's an abuser, and then like everyone was against him basically. And like more recently it's come out with like, have you heard like the videos and stuff?
Fam, the videos, just all the
spitting
things,
abuse,
him like inhabilitated on the floor just after doing so many drugs, and like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So basically it's come out that it's come out that Amber's just been lying basically the whole time, and she's just been like, she's just a compulsive liar.
Wait, so hang on, but there's evidence.
That's what people have said.
Evidence though.
wait, so what I heard, maybe I haven't heard the rest of the newer stuff then. The last thing I was listening to was like there was videos coming out of like her speaking to Johnny, like being really manipulative, saying, oh, I'll say this, I'll say that. That was what I heard last. So wait, there's new ones saying that he's doing, so is it true?
No, so I'm not disputing the fact that she has been doing some manipulative things and stuff like that, but there's evidence showing him like decapitated. There's like pictures of like all the shit that he's been doing. There's like of his drugs and all that good stuff, or not bad stuff I should say, and on the airplane, and there's like witnesses, like there's evidence. So
oh shit, I'm not
so whilst and they've been doing the libel case right now. It's actually in London, so and it's been for the last, I think it's last week, and they've been doing like testimonies and whatnot in court like every day. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, he was cancelled for a little bit because obviously people were like, okay, what the fuck, but it didn't really hurt his career like that, to be honest with you. Like
no, because he's a guy,
right? But not in that he's a white man, and I want to contrast that to our my dear boy anyway, Nick Cannon, who is positive as ever, and he honestly, I feel like he has done so many great things for the culture, and I also feel like he straddles the line very well of just like being sort of like a world cultural lover. Like, you know, he's always with different types of people, and I feel like his show is quite inclusive, and like you know, he's obviously recently said some things that were deemed to be anti-Semitic. I say it. Anti-Semitic. Yeah, and you know, apparently, and it's things to do with like the Rothschilds and like black people being the first like Israelites or whatever, and or the first Jews, sorry. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm not Jewish, so I can't say whether it's anti-Semitic or not, but if they're saying that they feel offended by it, then I feel like cool. But within hours, his contract with Viacom CBS done out here. Now, do you know that he has had the longest running successful show on MTV? The longest running. Wild and Out has been on for years, absolute years. There was not a conversation, there was nothing. Our statement. And not only that, he's also like executive producer of like a number of shows there. He's obviously he's a creative director of Nickelodeon at Night, which is also under that same banner. You know, he's got a lot of like different shows. Isn't
Nickelodeon like Jewish owned as well, I think? Like,
well,
so
the thing is, and so again, so what I'm saying to you is that whilst, you know, I can't tell, you know, Jewish people what they might find offensive, and you know, I do appreciate it, so that's a learning curve for me as well. It's like he didn't get an opportunity to right his wrongs. The next day also, he actually put out a heartfelt apology. He said, look, today I've spoken to rabbis, I've spoken to my Jewish friends, I've spoken to my Jewish business partners, and they told me what I said was wrong. And the thing is, what's even worse about it is that he wasn't even really speaking his own ideas. He'd actually read a book which, you know, people have said is anti-Semitic. I can't remember about who the author is. It was a female author, and he was actually stating like the facts of the book, and so hadn't had an opportunity to really do his own, you know, investigations. And he was chatting with a guy that a doctor who used to be in Public Enemy, who was actually let go from the group for being anti-Semitic as well. So the whole situation was a bit shit, really, to be honest. But it's like he actually put out a heartfelt apology, and he actually and it seemed like he actually was doing the work. So why the hell have we not seen another statement from Viacom? Like, okay, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I think the thing is what's interesting. Sorry, I think about that situation is like definitely true what you've said. That he hasn't been afforded the same opportunity as like his white counterparts, because there's been so many, like if we speak about, I don't know if people like, if you even know about the makeup fucking bullshit community in YouTube, but like for example Jeffree Star, he said some like out of pocket shit about black people.
Shane Dawson,
he said that he wanted to pour battery acid on like black women. Like he's just been like said the N-word multiple times. Shane Dawson, blackface, also been accused of doing really weird shit with kids. It's all fucked up. But yeah, anyway, these people have been allowed to have platforms consistently, and like they've never lost money, and like YouTube, that is a huge bag. YouTube makes money, so these people are making millions and millions and millions, and no one said anything because what they're saying is against black people. Not saying that anti-Semitism is not as bad or like whatever. We're not playing the oppression Olympics.
Not at all.
They're both bad. They're both bad.
Yeah, definitely.
But one thing should not be treated as different as the other. If Nick Cannon's gonna get this heat, everyone else needs to get the same heat equality as well. We all need to be treated the same. If one person can be given another opportunity, Nick Cannon should be given another opportunity as well to learn from the experience. And I think it's great that he's taken on board what Jewish people have said and been like, look man, like what you said isn't right, and he's been like, do you know what, fair enough, I fucked up here.
And then now like people are cancelling him, so people are like just, and then not on, you know, on a corporate level as well, like I said with Viacom, TBS, then it's like when he was apologizing as well, to be fair, people from our culture were like, you know, fuck it, why are you apologizing? It's like he literally can't win, and the poor man is like fucking like, you know, he's put out some suicidal-ish tweets, and you know, I really hope that people around him are there to support him and don't leave him by himself, because that shit is real. That shit is so real.
And the thing is, like, we have to remember Nick's been doing this from a kid, like
fam,
young,
he has, for me, he has been one of the best child actors like ever, because he didn't go crazy at any point. Like he's also like used his like creative art and like capitalized upon that. You know, he's a, you know, a boss in the boardroom, but also still in front of the camera, like, you know, and also he's mad positive. Like he comes across mad cool. Like, you know, I don't know him, but you know, I just think it's a real shame. I really hope that Viacom CBS like do what they need to do, because it's a joke. You can't, because what are they going to do? And it's another thing as well. So, you know, people are saying that he didn't even own Wild and Out, which is absolutely crazy if that is the case, because that is disgusting. Like if he didn't own Wild and Out and MTV or you know, Viacom have the rights to that is disgusting, because that is him. Everyone knows that is his show. He makes the show. He does the hiring. He does everything. He does, you know, he writes the scripts, or at least oversees that. So, you know, I just think it's fucking crazy.
It's disappointing, to be honest. And like, interestingly enough though, like if we're talking about people who've said like out of pocket shit towards communities, like people like Terry Crews, for example, I feel like the only reason he has been able to keep his career is because the shit he's saying is about his own community, and obviously like black people, no one gives a shit about black people, obviously. So like he's able to say like, oh, Black Lives Matter. What did he say?
He said
like,
it's not Black Lives
Matter is racist.
He said it's not. He said it's not Black Lives. It shouldn't be Black Lives Matter. Sorry, it shouldn't be Black Lives Better. It should be Black Lives Matter. If it's I'm a child of God, and therefore, you know, I love all human beings. Don't take the fucking piss. Then he said it's like, you know, there's people turning into black supremacists. Don't ever. And how can we be supreme in a society that is not built for us? Are you fucking mad?
Yeah, exactly. Tap dancing. No, I hate that shit. And the thing is, what's so disappointing about that is because we were the thing about this Terry Crews that's so disappointing is obviously like not that he blew up because he was already like quite big, because he was in Brooklyn 9-1, whatever the fuck it's called. Obviously was a sexual allegation thing that he came out with, and said that like one of someone big in Hollywood touched him inappropriately, and everyone was like rallying with support. Everyone was like, no, like men suffer from sexual assault too, like we have to remember this, and it was like a great conversation. Everyone was really supportive of him. He was saying like really great things about men, like don't be ashamed to like speak about your experience, and that was like amazing. And then all of a sudden, like once he like got like all this like push forward, like he was just coming out with his out-pocket things about the black community.
And what's hurtful is that nothing's gonna happen to him except for because he's been cancelled by black people. But again, because we don't.
But what weight?
We don't own stuff. So he's still whilst like other people are losing their jobs and shit, he's still, you know, the host of what is it, like America's Got Talent, or whatever the hell it is, or he's become the new host even. It's just like
he is.
It's just like it's ridiculous.
Something that he said that I found so offensive, because I was just brought up by a black woman, is he was saying that like you can't come from like a single like female home and not have a father. Like you need to, basically saying that you have to have a father to be able to grow up like normally. And that, for me, that's so insulting, because like obviously within our community, not that everyone is, but like a lot of people are just brought up by their black moms, and like the way in which I saw my mum like grinding, working hard, like doing everything she can for me, and for him as a black man to come out and say that shit about our own community, like it's just so like.
And the thing about Terry Crews, when you look at him, you see he's black. There's no my guy is black. Do you know what I mean? There's no ifs, ands and buts about it. You can't mistaken him for any kind of, you know, skin color tone or any kind of race, because he is, that's a black man right there. So for me it hurts. And then it's like then you see that, and then you've got his wife, who I believe is white, or if she's black she's very,
no, his wife is mixed. Okay. She's very light, she's light,
but though, she looks white. Okay, so she's white presenting is what I'm gonna say. She's white presenting. It makes us feel worse, because like, okay, cool, you're saying all this shit against your own people. You have a wife who is white presenting. I'm not saying she's white, and I'm sure she's advocate in her own way. However, it's like it's looking it's looking very bad. Like I'm not understanding, because it's like, okay, do you just hate yourself? That's how I see it. Do you hate yourself? So whilst I don't believe in cancel culture, so let's just say that I don't believe in cancel culture, and I feel like I fall back a bit, but I'm never gonna be the one that's gonna be like you're cancelled. I'm never gonna like write on Instagram or on social media like I ain't got time for that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like you're making me really, really like reconsider. Like, okay. Because like White Chicks is one of my favourite films. Am I just going to stop watching that? Probably. I know. I'm still going to watch White Chicks. That's the reality of it. That film, right. Yeah. But it's like, it's really heartbreaking when we have people in leadership positions or people in power or people with platforms denounce themselves. Like it really is. It's hurtful.
100%.
It's fucking hurtful.
It's so hurtful. It's so disappointing.
It's fucking hurtful.
And I think... Yeah, I 100% agree. And I feel like that's why I have such a hard time with like Kanye West, because he said so much out of pocket shit about the black community. And it's like Kanye, but obviously we have to acknowledge his condition as well. So but yeah, Terry Crews, disappointed, man. Terry Crews, it's a wrap now. He needs to stop talking now. Like, we don't need to hear anything more.
Just chill.
It's not the time.
Chill, man, chill. I mean, what about, so let's talk about some big things in like movies and stuff like that. We've got Harvey Weinstein, we've got Bill Cosby.
Oh, mate.
Crazy.
So I think that's a whole topic in itself. So that's like sexual assault cancellation. So we've got Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly. That all seemed to come out like around-ish the sort of same time.
Yeah, like a couple years ago.
I don't know if... Yeah, I thought it was hot, and like this was like really interesting because like I was working somewhere. I'm not gonna say where I was working, but like they were like kind of not high profile people who come, but people with like really like up their jobs. And this woman was a publicist, and she came in and she just like ran out the shop like on the phone, and we're like, oh, what's going on? Like, and the guy who was working with her came, and I was like, yeah, she was just having an appointment. Like, I don't know what's going on. She came back in and she's like, oh, my client's going through something. Da da da. And then she left, and then like my manager told me like, yeah, her client's Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my gosh.
She just got the news. Yeah, she just got the news that like all the shit was coming out, basically.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, mad. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, obviously Harvey Weinstein's been accused of like years.
I mean, I feel like it's been proved now.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, you have to know. But I guess some people might not. But yeah, like he's been accused of years and years of like sexual assault, just like misconduct and all that sort of shit. And like he's finally been sentenced to, how was it, 25 years ago? Or?
Enough time.
Was it 25?
He looks like a ghost though.
He's gonna die
nasty
now. He's coming on his Zimmer frame. I was like, are you doing sympathy?
It's in it.
No one cares. No one cares. Sorry, going bye. See you later. And then obviously R. Kelly. And the thing about the R. Kelly situation that's so sad is like, this is again going back to black women being unprotected. Yeah. The R. Kelly rumours have been out there.
I mean, obviously, from when I was married Aaliyah,
Aaliyah,
when she was
15 years old.
Yeah.
Yes. So like the rumours had been out there. I remember like being like 8 years old and hearing like, oh yeah, he's pissed on someone, and like people would just take it as a joke at the time.
It's disgusting.
Like, no, it's disgusting. And it was a fucking 14-year-old girl.
It was disgusting.
And so like there's been loads of victims. Well, I'm gonna say survivors, because like you survived that situation.
Yeah.
But there's been loads of survivors coming forward with their stories. If you guys have seen Surviving R. Kelly, and there's been numbers and numbers. And like the thing is with this situation is that people knew about these things were going on. Same with Harvey Weinstein, but no one said anything. And like especially because it's black girls, no one cares, do they? Like no one's gonna do anything. It's like, well, it's black girls. If these were little white girls who were being assaulted, it'd be a horrible situation. But yeah, like the R. Kelly situation fucked up. And obviously, yeah, he's been cancelled. Spotify wanted to take his music off of Spotify.
It's crazy.
Like,
and it's just, you know what it is? Yeah, it's really hurtful, if I'm going to be honest with you, because the reality of it is, and so I was talking to my cousin about this. It's like, you can't unlike the music. Like, you just can't. Like, I'm sorry.
This is a good conversation, because I was having a conversation about something about
Step in the name of love. Like, you can't unlike that music. Ignition. Like, I'm sorry. Ignition was a time in everyone's life. Ignition was a time in everyone's life. So whilst I don't listen to it, I don't listen to music anymore. Right. But it's like, it's very hard to unlike it. I'm not going to lie.
For me with R. Kelly, like, because I was having this conversation with my friend's husband, and he was saying exactly the same thing as what you were saying, and I was like, yeah, but like now knowing what he writes his songs about, he's literally singing about children. I could never listen to it in the same way, so that the songs just were irrelevant for me at that point. I was like, nah, it's all done. And I remember like, I think like something came on like a Spotify playlist, and it was him, and all I could think about was the children. I was like, I literally cannot do it. So like, yeah, for me personally, yeah, his music from when all that came out, it's done.
I mean, so, I feel like it's done for everyone, but I'm just saying it's difficult, because at the end of the day,
I mean, some people still listen to him, some people don't care, some people are like,
well, you can't like music, so I agree. So maybe listen to it on SoundCloud or some shit that don't make money. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I agree. I'm sorry. How I feel is like this: is that I can't unlike the music. I don't listen to the music. Like, I don't listen to it because I'm not supporting that. Of course, no one in their right mind would. But If you ask me, did I like R. Kelly? I can't tell you. Like Trapped in Closet, that's
yeah,
iconic.
No, of course. I mean,
that's
before
iconic.
You knew.
Iconic. Trapped in Closet, iconic. Part 1 to fucking 12, or how many parts there was. Like, it's mad, and it's and that's really, it's a shame. And someone like that needed psychological intervention from way back then. Like, it's mad. Like, it shouldn't have got to this point where he's got hostages up in his house. You know, he's got like fucking.
It's like, and they don't even know. They don't even realize that they're hostages. That's how fucked up.
It's like it's crazy. It should not have got this far, man. It should not have got this far. But yeah. Boy.
I mean, like, this conversation could go on for a long time, and like, yeah, it was not. I think it was not a light one, but like something to like introduce you guys to like the direction that we're going with this new series.
Like
so we'll probably call
it
series 2. Definitely. I mean, there's so many fucking people. There's a lot of people that we didn't talk about. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, that was cancel culture. If you guys have like cancelled anyone, like put it in the comments, or people you think should be cancelled but haven't been cancelled.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know, man.
But yeah, I think the moral of the story is just don't be a dick. Just don't be a dick.
It's real. That's real. It's real, fam. It's real. I can't even front.
Yeah, exactly.
And so thank you so much for listening to another episode. We're back and we're better. We got you. You know, we got you for the summer vibe listenings. You know what I mean, and beyond. But thank you so much for the support, honestly. And check out our Instagram. Obviously, we're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music, so we got you everywhere. Like, there's no excuse.
Hey.
But yeah, thanks for the love, and have a good one. Till next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.